Hey gamers, last year we got one of the best Metroidvanias ever. Yep, we know it's Hollow Knight, Silk Song. So if you're hunting for the top Metroidvania games of 2026, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm breaking down the top 20 new Metroidvania games you must play in 2026, so you won't have to stress about which one to play next. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Starting at number 20, we have Ariana and the Elder Codex. The platforming gameplay is pretty fun, the story world feels unique, and the concept of restoring worlds through books feels fresh among other action RPG Metroidvania titles. In this game, you play as Ariana, a librarian who has the ability to enter directly into books. The story begins when the 7 hero codices, 7 legendary magic books that hold the source of the world's power, are suddenly damaged by a mysterious figure. The result? The entire world loses its magic. Your task is to enter each damaged book and repair the world inside it. Humans later add 3 more books, eventually forming what becomes known as the 7 books of the heroes. What makes it interesting is that each book has its own small story and secrets. So you're not just jumping around through levels, you're also slowly uncovering who actually damaged these books.
I will repair the altered codices. Ariana and the Elder Codex. An adventure that will stay in your heart.
Next up, we have Aeterna Lucis, this game coming back with another 2D Metroidvania adventure that still takes place in the Aeterna universe, but with a different story and a new main character. In Aeterna Lucis, you take on the role of the Queen of Light, who must stop the destruction of existence by facing a god known as Chaos. The combat system also receives several improvements. You'll have access to various new abilities and special weapons that can be used to face challenging enemies and bosses. The pace of combat remains fast, but it feels more flexible thanks to additional skills and mechanics. Another thing that stands out is the visual style. It takes inspiration from stained glass art, giving the environments a distinctive artistic look. This project has been in development for quite a while by the team at Eternum Game Studios. They even delayed the original release window to make sure the experience matches the vision they wanted to deliver. Solateria is a 2D Souls-like Metroidvania that mainly focuses on parry-based combat and exploring an interconnected world. In this game, you play as Tot, a lit Piran warrior with a blue flame for a head. The story follows your journey to restore the king of your people, while a terrible plague spreads across the land. The story itself isn't bad, but honestly, I'm more interested in the combat. One thing you should know before playing Solateria is that the game is hard. Even if you tweak the difficulty settings, it's still pretty challenging. The combat system is heavily focused on parrying with massive bosses and a wide variety of enemies. Outside of the combat, there isn't really much that makes Solateria stand out, but that's not necessarily a harsh criticism, just a statement of fact. The game clearly puts most of its focus on the combat system, while the exploration side is kept fairly simple. Yup, if you enjoyed 9 Souls, then I think you should definitely check this one out. And next, Clockwork Ambrosia blends explorative Metroidvania gameplay, fast-paced 2D shooter action, and a creative weapon crafting system set in a vibrant steampunk world. In this game, you play as Iris, an airship engineer trying to escape a mysterious island called Aspida after her airship narrowly survives a crash. But things quickly take a turn when she gets caught up in an ancient mystery. The island's population has suddenly vanished, seemingly replaced by dangerous robots and cyborgs. Behind it all lies a hidden mastermind pulling the strings, slowly drawing Iris toward a truth she might not be ready to face. With a playable demo already available during Steam Next Fest and a full release planned for April 2025, this indie title is shaping up to be one of the most promising Metroidvania games worth keeping an eye on. Next up, we've got Divinum. This game tries to combine the stylish combat of Devil May Cry with the world exploration of Hollow Knight. The first thing you'll notice about Divinum is its combat system. It feels very different from most 2D games. Instead of playing it safe, the game pushes you to fight aggressively and look stylish while doing it. Even though combat is the main highlight, Divinum is still built on a classic Metroidvania structure, so you'll be exploring interconnected areas, unlocking new abilities, and discovering hidden paths. What makes the game even more interesting is the rune system. These runes can drastically change your playstyle. For example, you can create builds like a parry specialist, an aerial combo build, or a brutal damage-focused build, so even though it's not a roguelike, the game still offers build customization that adds a lot of replayability, and yeah, if this game looks like your kind of thing, make sure to add it to your wishlist. Before we go into the list, I want to tell you about my favorite place to buy games, and that's Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an awesome site for grabbing games at great prices. Not only they always have fantastic discounts, but also they running giveaways you won't want to miss. Seriously, these deals are hard to beat. Where else are you gonna find prices this good? Why pay full price when you can grab the same game for way less, right? Yeah, you can shop for games on all kinds of platforms, like PC, PS5, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. There are also numerous convenient products to enhance your gaming experience, such as subscriptions, gift cards, and many more. No worries, it's 100% legit, fast, and super easy to use, and their support team is available 24/7. So what are you waiting for? Go check out your favorite games by using the link in the description below and start saving your cash with Instant Gaming. And by using my link, you're not just getting awesome deals, but also supporting this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Fallen Tier the Ascension is a 2D Metroidvania with beautiful hand-drawn visuals mixed with some JRPG-style mechanics. The adventure begins when Hira's village is attacked and his adoptive mother and brother suddenly disappear. One of Hira's main goals is to find them while uncovering the truth behind what really happened. What makes this game stand out is its JRPG-style party system. Hira can build bonds with different NPCs who can join him in battle. You can bring up to 3 companions at once, each providing passive buffs and unique special abilities. The combat feels fast and responsive, combining regular attacks, dodge counters, and skills from your party members. Even though the game is still in early access, there's already a good amount of content available, and it feels surprisingly polished. Mira and the Legend of the Djinns is an epic 2D pixel art Metroidvania inspired by the classics. The story follows Yuba, a treasure hunter, and Mira, a mysterious djinn who has lost her memories. Like most Metroidvania games, the structure here is pretty classic. You explore a large interconnected world, unlock new abilities, and return to earlier areas to open paths that were previously unreachable. In combat, you can switch weapons and elemental modes instantly, even in the middle of a combo. This makes fights feel fast and dynamic, especially when you start chaining different abilities together. There are dozens of combat moves to unlock, plus 7 special tools that help with exploration and puzzles. Things like wall climbing abilities and a grappling hook that let you reach new areas. Honestly, this game has been delayed a few times already, but hopefully it finally releases in 2026. And as always, don't forget to add it to your wishlist on Steam. Vapor World Over the Mind is a Souls-like Metroidvania that pulls players into a dark dream world filled with trauma, haunting imagery, and a truly unique visual style. In the game, you play as a young boy trapped inside a strange and twisted dream. The world is shaped by trauma, guilt, and shattered memories, turning every area you explore into something unsettling and mysterious. From a gameplay perspective, Vapor World focuses heavily on deflection or parry-based combat, so you can't just mash attacks and hope for the best. During early access, the game is expected to offer around 5 hours of gameplay. The full release, however, is planned to include roughly 12 hours of content, featuring a prologue, 3 main episodes, and a final chapter. While the game still doesn't have an official release date yet, Vapor World Over the Mind already looks very promising, especially for players who enjoy Souls-like games.
Find the secret.
Shade Protocol is a Metroidvania that blends classic exploration with a fairly deep combat and character build system. In the game, you play as Zura, a replica who can manipulate powerful abilities and even interact with the code of the enemies she fights. One of the most interesting mechanics is the Dawn and Shade mode system. Dawn focuses on agility and control, while Shade unleashes far more destructive power but with greater risk. This dynamic makes every fight feel tactical, constantly pushing players to decide whether to play it safe or go all in on aggressive attacks. The game also features the Protocol system, a build mechanic that lets players copy abilities from other replicas to create different play styles. The developers are aiming for dozens of possible build combinations, allowing players to adapt their strategy depending on the situation, whether they're taking on bosses or dealing with swarms of enemies. Being and Becoming is a dark, atmospheric Metroidvania set in a kingdom consumed by a collective dream. Play as a lucid dreamer able to possess the corrupted, absorb their spirits, and wield them as weapons to break the world free from its endless slumber. The world of Being and Becoming feels like a nightmare filled with symbolism and mystery. The environments are dark, surreal, and honestly make you really curious to keep exploring. Your ultimate goal? To confront something known as the Word, a mysterious force that seems to control this entire dream world. While detailed gameplay information is still limited, the concept of a constantly shifting dream world has a lot of potential to create some really unique exploration. Eden's Guardian is a new Souls-like Metroidvania that instantly reminds me of Blasphemous, but with faster-paced combat and a really unique teleportation mechanic. You play as a guardian who awakens after being imprisoned for centuries. The world that was once beautiful has now fallen into ruin, overrun by monsters after an ancient war. Your mission is to uncover what really happened to your world and confront the gods, or powerful entities that now rule over it. One thing that really sets this game apart from other Metroidvanias is its sword teleportation mechanic. You can throw your sword into walls, ceilings, or even enemies and then instantly teleport to wherever the sword lands. And it's not just useful in combat, this mechanic is also key for solving environmental challenges, navigating tricky platforming sections, and reaching hidden areas. Eden's Guardian is currently planned to release on multiple platforms, including PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, and Nintendo Switch. Grime 2 shows itself as a game that lives up to all the hype from its predecessor, both in terms of weird world building and deep gameplay. It's a thematic sequel, not a direct story continuation, and introduces a brand new character called the Art Mimic. This is a 2.5D Metroidvania, fused with Soulsborne elements, which makes you instantly hooked on the parry mechanics. In the first Grime, parrying let your black hole head absorb enemies and deal massive damage. In Grime 2, it's upgraded. A hand shoots out from the Mimic's body to counterattack, basically serving the same function but in a cooler, more visually wild way. On top of that, you can equip 2 weapons at once, plus special abilities. So fighting multiple enemies isn't just about button mashing, it's about strategy, when to attack, when to parry, and when to use your skills. Altered Alma is a 2D cyberpunk Metroidvania set in the fictional city of Neo Barcelona. You play as Jack, a former enforcer on the run from his past. The combat is awesome. The Quantum Blade is a big part of it. Strong enemies can be taken out with Kill Shift, an instant kill move when you throw the blade at a target while the crosshair appears. Each enemy has unique death animations, and kill shifts also restore Neon, the resource for special abilities. There's also a mod system, implants, and neon-fueled abilities, letting you upgrade Jack however you like. Combining melee, teleportation, and skills makes combat feel fast, stylish, and tactical. What really surprised me is the relationship system. Interactions with the Esperanza crew change depending on your dialogue choices. Even in the demo, my choices affected how other characters responded. For a Metroidvania, that's a huge plus, because usually the focus is just on gameplay. Akatori. This Metroidvania is officially on my wishlist and I can't wait for the full release. Hopefully summer 2026. You play as Mako, a young girl from the Firebird Temple. Her world is being taken over by amber storms and industrial decay. Her main weapon is a magical staff with a mysterious red bird, and it's not just for combat, it's also a super slick navigation tool. Gameplay in Akatori is pretty solid. Some areas need quick reflexes, others make you think strategically. The platforming is a blast. Mako can stick the staff into walls, double jump, air dash, and even pull enemies toward her with the staff. All these moves unlock really fast, so you get to mess around with tons of abilities right from the start. The visuals? Damn, pixelated 16-bit characters layered over 3D backgrounds look amazing. The visual contrast is perfect, you can see platforms and enemies clearly, but it still looks gorgeous. Kotama and Academy Citadel is a Metroidvania with a JRPG-style story set in a futuristic sci-fi world. The game combines 3D presentation with a clean and stylish 2.5D look and high-quality anime aesthetics, especially in the story scenes that give the game a lot of personality, but honestly, the real selling point here is the action. I really like how combat is built around 3 distinct weapons, similar to how modern Metroidvanias let you adapt your playstyle on the fly: the Umbrella Spear, the Whip Hammer, and the Liquid Blade. And they're not just for fighting enemies, each one plays a role in movement, traversal, and solving the world itself, which makes exploration feeling fresh and engaging. Not only that, the parry and counter system feels tight and responsive, and boss fights are easy, the highlight of the game. And yup, this is an easy recommendation, a must play. Castlevania Belmont's Curse is a 2D action exploration game where you can freely roam huge, detailed maps. And nope, it's not a roguelike. So if you've been missing that classic Castlevania vibe, this is great news. Yeah, I know the rumors made it sound like this was gonna be a roguelike or roguelite, but turns out it's not. It's set 23 years later, and you play as Trevor Belmont's unnamed successor hunting monsters in Paris. It's got that throwback feel, but still manages to feel fresh. Gameplay-wise, Evil Empire and Motion Twin are shaking things up a bit. The 2.5D art style looks gorgeous, and Belmont is way more acrobatic than past heroes. His vampire killer whip isn't just for killing vamps or breaking candles anymore. It can be used to smash, jump, stick to the environment, and even throw enemies around. If you're a fan of classic Castlevania but want a modern twist, this is shaping up to be a super fun ride.
Last of House Belmont.
From eye to heart.
Memories in Orbit puts you in control of a little robot named Mio who wakes up on an abandoned spaceship. The game is basically Mio's journey to restore the memories and hope of machines left behind by their creators. So you get that mix of nostalgia and adventure vibes. It's classic 2D Metroidvania action. You'll jump, attack, and pick up new abilities like glide, dodge, and wall crawling. Movement's actually pretty slick and lets you explore freely. Combat and movement feel smooth, intuitive, and fast-paced. Platforming can get a bit tricky here and there, but nothing you can't handle. The resource system is cool too. You've got Nacre and Cores. Nacre drops from enemies, but if you die, you lose it unless you've crystallized it at certain machines. So timing your skill usage is key. If you're struggling, the game's got options. Bosses can be toned down, you can get extra coats, or enemies only go aggressive if you attack first. Perfect if you're busy or new to Metroidvanias, you won't get stuck for too long.
Will you give back?
Mariachi Legends is an upcoming Metroidvania set to drop in Q2 2026. Well, that's the promise for now. You play as Pablo Cruz, a detective chosen by death itself. Yep, literally death. He's granted powers as La Sombra and has to dive into the world of the dead to protect the balance of Dia de los Muertos. One of the standout features here is the day-night system, which actually changes areas and challenges, so exploration won't feel static. Combat is what you'd expect from a solid Metroidvania, fast, responsive, and backed up with RPG elements like crafting, gear, and character progression. And yeah, the game is already popping off on Kickstarter, blowing past its initial goal. Definitely throw this one on your wish list.
Break its gates and exterminate.
Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement is the latest action Metroidvania from Koji Igarashi and his team. If you remember Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, this isn't a direct sequel to Miriam, but the story still has some important connections to the previous game. But now you can pick between two characters, Alex and Leo. The difference is pretty minor. Leo's better at magic, Alex leans more on physical strength. But the real highlight, the class system. There are over 10 classes to choose from, and you can level them up. Each class has unique skills, and skills you learn in one class can carry over to others if certain conditions are met. You can also swap between the two characters anytime. Even in solo play, you can command the AI to cast spells or pull off combo attacks. Inventory is shared, and there are tons of visual customization options to make your characters look awesome. Crafting and cooking got an upgrade too. If the materials are available in the shop, you can buy them straight from the crafting screen. So yeah, if you're a fan of Koji Igarashi's games, this one is a must-play.
We start our mission!
Crowsworn is one of the most hyped 2D hand-drawn Metroidvanias, dropping in late 2026. Think Hollow Knight meets Bloodborne, but darker. As you can see, I'm so love the mix of melee and ranged pistol attacks. It totally gives me Devil May Cry vibes, but in 2D, you play in the grim world of Fear Andal, swinging a scythe, blasting guns, and tearing through fast-paced combat. There's a deep rune system, and the boss fights? Brutal. What cool from Crowsworn is its upgrade system. You can graft new body parts onto your character to get bonuses, everything from earning more cash from enemies, unlocking new skills, to buffing specific attacks. So yeah, get those upgrades and stock up at shops before tackling a tough boss. Combat is super smooth with directional attacks and lots of emphasis on dodging, and the animation absolutely amazing and maybe even smoother than Hollow Knight. And yup, 2026 looking insane for Metroidvania fans, and Crowsworn might just be one of the best yet. And that's it for today. Those were the top 20 new Metroidvania games you must play in 2026. Got a hidden gem I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or discovered a new title to add to your collection, feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss future content. Once again, if you want to buy games with cheap price, the link in the description okay. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.